let the weak say, I am strong. That is, even when you don't see it, you can speak it. Even when you don't see it, you can believe it, that something good can come out of you. Something good can come out of your nation. Something good can come out of your president. Something good. Guys, the strategy is simple. Value the individual and value your nation. I repeat, value the individual and value your nation. Not value your tribe, despise the individual, despise your nation, and then you want to seek and achieve what the Europeans and the rest of the great nations we see around the world has achieved. You will point China, and China has a common language. Their cultures are unique. They are not as divided as us. Call another nation. You want to call them. Call it. Call those nations. Let's go ahead and have a conversation. As a matter of fact, we'll start a podcast. And I would love every African to come on that podcast and tell me why you think Pan-Africanism is a good idea. An ideology that says Africa should be one. We should have one resource. We should have a one source of power energy. Like everything should be coming out of this particular nation and going around Africa. I think a free trade area is a good initiative. But I also think that you develop yourself to get to that level that if I'm trading with you, you have something to offer. I should not be trading with you because you're an African. I should be trading with you because you have something of value that you can share with me. And as I buy from you, my people will be better. Not because we have shared colonized experience. Not because we have shared slave-free experience. Not because we have shared pain. People who have shared pain need therapy. They don't need to come together. When you come together, two people who are lame, you come together. The Bible says when the blind leads the blind, they fall in a pit. They fall in a pit. Try to interact with other nations other than your neighboring countries that have similar problems like you and cannot help you. And again, I want to repeat, the West is not your enemy. The Americans are not your enemy. The British are not your enemy. The French are not your enemy. You say French? Oh, well, no, the French are not your enemy. We are our own enemy among ourselves. I've never seen a Frenchman one day in my tribe, in my village. But I've seen how my fellow brother from another tribe treated me. I've seen how somebody who holds a position of power treated me within my own community, not the president. If I get up every day and see that, I cannot blame the president. I'll blame the people that are seeing that community and what they did to me. And that is where change starts. That is where change starts. Guys, I think I've said a lot on this video. There is more to come. This is just the beginning. And I want you to challenge your beliefs. Why should we prioritize every organization or every project or every meeting that they invite you to? Ask yourself the question, is this enhancing the life? If I throw a meeting right now saying come for personal development and learn how to invest, very few people from Cameroon will show up. If I say we have a traditional gala from this tribe, people will show up. When we start prioritizing the individual in the nation and reduce the energy that we put towards tribe, we will experience growth exponentially very fast. I repeat, that is what the West did. Don't come and quote me on this because you want to say, oh, what are you saying? No, it's not me saying it. I'm saying what I've seen the West do. Go read. There are literatures out there on Google. That is why we have information everywhere, so that you are not misled. So you don't say, I said. I'm not saying it. I'm saying the West had to do away with every tradition. They had to do away with every group, and they had to prioritize the nation and the individual to be able to emerge victorious and achieve the level of civilization and growth and development that you see today. They didn't grow today by prioritizing tribes over the individual, tribes over the nation, which is the current problem we are facing in Africa and why we are not progressing. That is what I have identified. Go read the literatures of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, of John Locke. Go read the literatures. Go read the Declaration of Independence of America. Read how France became independent, how France was able to foster national unity and become this great country that you feel that they are oppressing you today. What did you do? The question we should be asking ourselves is not blaming French of what they did to Africa, but asking, how did you manage to do this? That is a good question. How did he do that? How this small country is able to take over this entire continent? How this small Britain, with these few people, what did they do? They had a national sense of unity, speaking one language, understanding their strengths and weaknesses and their motives and intention, and they went out there and they walked as one, and with that they cannot be stopped. And I just want to let Africans know this pride of tribalism, this pride of culture, this pride that we carry so much about our village. And I want to let you know this pride about our language. Oh, we are from Momo. Oh, we are from Bali. Oh, we are from Mankon. Oh, we are from Batibu. Oh, we are from Banso. And I want to let you know that the primary foundation of multiple languages came from the initiative of the Tower of Babel. And God was confusing the people because they wanted to dominate him. And I just want to let you know that that is not good. It was not something to celebrate that we have multiple languages, because it brings confusion. God had to bring confusion. When the people were one, they were building. When they were one and speaking one language, they were building. But immediately they had multiple languages among them and they could not understand each other. It brought division, and the project that would have been amassed and erected, the building that was supposed to be built, got crumbled, stopped. There was no development. There was no progress. The nation was not moving forward. The entire project came to a standstill because the people could not speak and understand each other. Because when one person said, give me a brick, the person said, give me water, and they were mad at each other why they could not understand each other. So the whole idea of multiple languages, multiple cultures brings about confusion, and so there is no development. And because there's no development, there is no way we can be able to have anything else but poverty. So when you talk about your culture, think twice. You think the Europeans today, they never had a culture? Because I've heard some people say, we have this African culture, it's our pride, the West is jealous of our culture. No, they had cultures. They had to dissolve them for the interest of the nation. They had to dissolve them because the unity and growth and development of that nation was more important than the village, than the tribe. So they had to prioritize the individual, bringing in their skills to develop the nation and not the tribe. I bet you when you put money within your tribe right now, instead of looking for a competent engineer from another tribe, you prefer to look for an incompetent engineer within your tribe and give them that money, and they do a shady job, and your nation remains the same. But there's somebody from another tribe that can take that money that you've given and do as twice as what your engineer that is not competent will do with that same money. There is a white man that knows how to manage resources that you can hire even from abroad, that can come in and be able to cut that cost into two. But to bring a white man, no, they are our enemies. They hate us. They don't like us. And so you will not hire them to come and teach you how to cut down that cost and use the most valuable resources at the very minimum cost and bring about development. That is the problem. If anybody tells you anything other than what I just told you, they are selling you a snake oil. They are selling you magic. Yeah. If they tell you anything else than what I just told you, that's why Africa is suffering and the way forward. They are selling you something. And when you buy, you will pay in the next 50 years. So we weakened our economies. Now we were weak and colonized. And as we were weak and colonized, we had no power to even fight again, because those empires came down because of slavery and slave trade. We suffered. colonizers stayed among us and took over everything. So they never trained most of our people in entrepreneurship and business and engineering. So when they left, what did they leave us with? With a planned economic system. And the planned economic system is what they use as a colonial tool, not necessarily what they use in their own country. And now we are using that colonial tool to lead our people. That tool was just to extract raw materials, because there was one straight road. The reason for any construction was to lead to the exit so that they can leave with the goods and services. That is where we find ourselves, guys. But don't carry any grief in your heart thinking that the white man hates you. No, they don't. You presented yourself as who you are. That you think you can sell a brother or a sister. As I'm talking right now, some people will come under here and try to spread hate, and it's the same spirit. But you will pay for it. You will pay dearly for it. Your children's children will suffer as you keep believing lies and spreading lies. You're refusing to copy and follow what works and think people hate you, people don't like you, they want to kill you. It will take you backwards. So that is what happened with the economy. And so what do African leaders need? Now, African leaders are trying their best to see what they can do. But that is all they know. To think creatively and get out of the box, we suppress them with labels. They are bad leaders. They are evil. And they cannot even think creatively. Now they are fighting to even protect themselves and their lives. They know that even if they leave power, they can be killed within their own community. Because when groups come together, they can stir up any story about you and take you down. You've seen this happen in your tribe. You've seen this happen in your village. And so they're trying to protect themselves instead of trying to develop. We have to help them get out of that defensive mode and get to the offensive mode. Offensive is development. We go out, we do things. Defensive, I protect myself so you don't come and get me. That is where we find ourselves. So, Africans, Cameroonians, value our leaders, value our president, pray for them, walk. Imagine the amount of money that Cameroonians, English-speaking Cameroonians, have been able to donate towards the separation movement. Imagine that we were doing this effortlessly, continuously, for the development of our nation. We would have been further than where we are. That money that you donated towards this cause didn't come from the government. And you think that you didn't have this money all this while. But if you find a great cause to fight and die for, money will be available. There will be a way for you to raise that money to do what you really believe for. And that can only come when you derive the sense of national unity, of national pride, of our nation being number one over my own tribe, my own personal interest. Yes, I have to build my country. Yes, I have to build my life. Yes, I have to build a business. But I'm doing this to better my nation. I'm doing this to make sure that we achieve all that we desire in this nation, for the whole nation, for the entire Cameroon. I heard a journalist saying something, and I'll wrap up this message. He said, if Paul Biya is not able to build roads for his own village, how can he build that road for us? He cannot govern and help his own people. How can he help us? And what that tells me is, this president is not a biased president that the English-speaking people can say he's developing his own side of the country and not developing ours, but he's in that spot where even his people are speaking the way we are speaking about him. And so the ultimate goal for him is to protect himself. And he will do everything militarily, build alliances with other nations to protect himself at the expense of your own development and your own progress and the lives of your children. We'll be stagnant because of what you say. And I just want to say this to our people. Any wisdom that you have so strong that holds you down and hold your people down and keep you in poverty, that wisdom should be eradicated. Every belief and cultural belief that you hold so strong, you like it. When you are in there, it's like you are in heaven. But if you will turn around and it doesn't provide food for you and your children and give them the opportunity to go out there and have the best that they want in this life, that knowledge should be eradicated. That style should be eradicated. That culture should be eradicated. That belief system should be eradicated, because we want our children to have good schools, be able to play sports and choose whatever they want in life, and we cannot give them that if we will prioritize this over this. And I want to say this to all the youths, young people, you guys are the future. You're the next big thing. And I just want to say, if your parents will incite you, or you've developed the passion to go for traditional groups other than meetings and organizations that can help foster your own development, this is time to start saying no. I will not show up for that meeting, because I know at the end of the day, it doesn't foster national unity. It doesn't enhance my life as an individual. Parents will look at you low. They will look at you as nothing. They will not value you as an individual. They will cut off every opportunity, limit your talent, look at you as inferior over the tribe, over the family, over your own aspirations and dreams in life. If they will do that, cut away from every traditional meeting. I say it, cut away from every traditional meeting and don't go there. If you hear about an organization, a meeting that will enhance your life and help you move forward to help the nation, go for that. And break away from every tradition that is going to limit you, see you as inferior, don't acknowledge your own gifts and talents that God gave you. Break away from every tradition. I remember a moment when we had, because you asked me, why are you this radical about this? Because I remember a moment when we just gave birth to our first daughter. When we gave birth to our first daughter, my wife, it was an amazing time for us. It was a blessing. A pastor who also had traditional beliefs invited us for a meeting, a traditional meeting. We came for that meeting, sitting down there and just having this conversation. And all of a sudden, I realized that they were taking salt and putting in the mouth of children. And this pastor grabbed my child. Before I wanted to say no, they had put some concoctions into the mouth of my child without my permission. And so they undermined my personal decision and prioritized the group and put salt in the or concoction in the mouth of my child. Today, that child is autistic. There are many other factors that can be contributing to this very situation. We don't know. But you should not do anything to my child against my own will because of tradition. You should not do anything to my child against my own personal will because of your cultural beliefs. If they invite you for a cultural event and it's not aimed at fostering national unity, boycott from those events. This is time for you young people to carve a new path and create the kind of Cameroon you want to see. It will not come by taking advice from your parents. If they knew so much, that nation would have been different. The fact we are where we are is because what they have been doing is not working. What they have been doing is not working. And in conclusion, I want to say, be the kind of person that honors your word. Honors your word. We have this tendency of really living in the West, seeing what they are doing, but we don't practice it, because the next step will be the difficulty in implementing what we have seen from those who are succeeding. Yesterday we had an event and people had to come at 8 and people came at 12 midnight. We must do what works and say, I will discipline myself, make sure I prepare on time and show up at that time, because we have wasted a lot of time that we would have used to do other amazing things in our lives because we show up late. And so if we decide and say, I will be there at 8, be there at 8, and be that example. Be that example. This will go a long way for us to accelerate our transformation. By being honest people and being on time white person, what they do, like I'm saying, you see what they do, you implement it. If they say 2 p.m., it's 2 p.m., they'll be there. If they say 5 p.m., it's 5 p.m. on dot, they will be there. And with that, we can spend 1 hour, do what we need to do, and the rest of the time we can go for other meetings, and at the end of the day, you can achieve more. But if we waste all our time doing other stuffs, just whining time, just to come late, at the end of the day, we'll achieve less. And we wonder why we are not developing. There's no start time, there's no end time. This event starts at 8 and it ends at 10. So it's going to be a 2-hour program. You come after 8, the program has started already. If you come after 10, the program is over. You go home. Even if you have 2 people, do that. And as we continuously do that, people will start catching up. But if we think, oh, I have this food, I have all these drinks, I've hired a DJ, and because if this person doesn't show up, then we will not have this fundraising. Shut it down. After the 2 hours time frame, close the event and go home. Our people will start changing. You cannot change them. You cannot initiate that change by trying to compromise, because why? You think you've spent all this money for this event, and so if people don't show up, you will not get the support. No, shut down the event, take the food home. Let them come and show up and call you and say, hey, the event is over. Start doing that immediately. I mean, like right now, if you have an event this week, go ahead and say the event time starts at 6 and ends at 8. Or it starts at 6 and ends at 9. At 6, there should be someone on the microphone to start speaking. At 9, if that is the agreed time, you shut down the event. Close the hall, seal the door. Event is over. Everybody go home. Change starts in our community. Everywhere, both in the diaspora and back home. If somebody has an event and tells you they're inviting you to show up at 6 p.m. and if 6 p.m. you're not there, no, you're coming late. If you're the guest of honor, if you're the guest speaker, you come late, you don't allow that individual to speak at that event. They don't respect you. They don't respect your time. They don't respect your vision. They don't respect your program. They don't respect you as a human being. Anybody that shows up late doesn't respect you. And because of that, cut off from that. Shut down the event. It's over. You will lose some couple of thousands of dollars, but it will go a long way to bring about change, and our economy and our country and our community will be better. This is time for us, because somebody might be listening to me speak, and I just want to let you know, you might hear me and you think, oh, I'm a CPDM or whatever label you want to give me, or you want to think like, oh, I support the president, I support it. No, I'm supporting every African leader. I'm supporting everybody, and I believe I'm the synergist. I'm the synergist. God has raised me in a time such as this to speak truth to us, so that because nobody will tell us this. If a white man says this, you say they are racist. If somebody from the French says this, you say they are supporting the La Republique. But now this is somebody that say, you say I'm CPDM. I don't care whatever label you give me. I'm not the average pastor that people will just step out there and push on the side. No, if you come at me, really come well, because I'm ready. I'm ready, and I will take you out. If you want to go physical, we can try that as well. But I just want to let you know it is time for change, and we are not going to be the generation of people that came here, saw it, and just went around with the status quo. We went in there, we initiated change, we tried our best to make sure that what we came and saw, we left something different than what we saw. We left a different system. We changed the lives of people. That is why you see the Americans, they respect Martin Luther King. That is why they respect George Washington. That is why they respect Abraham Lincoln. That is why they respect Steve Jobs. That is why they respect all these great people, because they were who they said they were. They did it. They acted in accordance with their beliefs and their values and what they stood for. And I just want to let you know, we are the young generation of people that will say we will initiate change. And I want to say, on this note, all the people back home that think you have to be 50 if you're in the diaspora to be a leader, I came to challenge you. Alexander the Great was 33 and he was done with his mission. He was a king at the age of 17. He changed the whole world, conquered the whole world by 33. And somehow they have told you got to get to 50 or 60 to lead. And at that time, you're all weak and have no power to do the things you ought to do at this age. And I empower you right now to rise up and be the kind of leader that you have been created to be. And you cannot be that leader while you are old. You are supposed to be that leader in your prime and as your youth. You as a youth and as a human being that is within his teens and in his 20s, you have the power to go out there and bring that change. You're supposed to be leading now. This is our time right now. If you are 50, your time is gone, man. You should be doing something else with your life. Don't try to use us to be the tool so that you can lead in your 50s. This is the time for us as young people to rise up, read, study, see what works, and put it to practice. And we want to be the kind of leaders that will be in the trenches with our people. We don't want to be a leaders that will sit on the third floor and send letters down. We want to be in the trenches with our people. Alexander the Great was in there in the trenches with his people. Leaders that want to sit on the skyscrapers and send information for young people to go die. No, I want to see you in the trenches with us. I want to see you breaking bread with us. I want to see you getting married and see us getting married and you being in our midst. Young people, it is your time to shine. If you miss this, you'll be in your 50s and it's all over. You've lost it. This is your time to rise up. Your parents say some things that you've read and seen and looked at the great nations and their ways, and you say, Pa, Mama, no. No to this your style. No to this your belief. It is not going to help us. It's going to lead us to pain. No, it's our culture. It's our tradition. This is what our great-grandparents, that is what your great-grandparents believed in, and it didn't help us. I grew up in abject poverty, and so I just want to let you know, Mom, it's not going to work for me. It's not going to work for me. It worked for you. That is why you are looking at me as an asset, so I can go make money so that you can be better. The reason is why, because you know that I can get out there and do something you cannot do. So you sit down and listen. Rise up, youths. Rise up and lead your nation in entrepreneurship, in engineering, in arts and sciences. Do it. Partner with great people across the world. Your parents' enemies are not your enemies. Be friends with people who mean well for you. Develop skills. Network. Build yourself. Get into the gym. Work out. Be strong mentally and physically. Get married early. To hell with this idea that you should get married in your 35s or in your 40s. Get married early. The reason why they put all those barriers is because people are broke. They cannot help you make money. They cannot help support you when you're starting. They don't have money, so they will say get married when you're 40. Jesus Christ, his father, Joseph, and Mary, they got married. They were engaged at the age of 14. Mary was within the age of 12 to 15. Joseph was within the age of 14 to 16, and they engaged and got married. Do you know why they tell you not to get married? The reason why they tell you not to get married is because of poverty, because there's no money. And so you get old before you get married. And in that process, all the girls within your age, guess who they are getting married to? Old folks. And so you cannot even enjoy a girl within your age group. And the reason why you cannot enjoy a girl within your age group is because they've told you that you got to go make money. And the reason why you got to go make money is because they didn't make money. And so there's nothing to support you. So you can get married early, have a business skill that can help you support your family. And that is the reason. There's no other reason. Because if at the age of 12, if God knew that we had to get married at the age of 40, then he would have prepared us and prepared the woman to be fertile at the age of 40 or 30. The reason why God made a woman to be fertile at the age of 12 to 13 is because that is the age where you have to start thinking of getting married. Because when you get married at that age, you're able to build a life with this man. You're able to know each other. There is no sugar mommy story. There is no these mixed feelings and emotions that our society is experiencing. All of this is happening because of poverty. And we can fight that by parents working hard for their children and even support them when they start early. The Bible says a rich man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. This kind of message is not preached in Africa at all. They don't want to even hear this, that you ought to leave wealth for your children's children. Your children are not the ones to take care of you. Yes, there are some certain instances where they can provide support for you if you're struggling, but you ought to provide wealth for your children's children. They don't preach this to you, right? You've never heard this message. They don't emphasize it. They leave bondage to you. They leave poverty to you. They leave pain to you. They leave their enemies to you. They leave the past to you. They leave a painful, tragic history to you that ruins your emotions and make you look at the world with the gloomy veil. A rich man, a good man, a wealthy man leaves an inheritance for his children. And that is the power that we as young Africans are rising up to emulate. Wage war against the past. Wage war against the past. I repeat, wage war against the past. If you want to see your destiny, you have to attack your history. What is holding you back in life? Your past. When you succeed, what do people try to attack you with? Your past. When you make money, who hold you back? People in the past that want to remind you of who you are. Parents that want to heap huge responsibility upon you, thinking you have to take care of the whole family. You have to wage war against the past. I just want to say this. Africans are one of the most amazing, charitable people on earth. Africans in the diaspora, you guys are amazing people, and yet they are trying to make you feel bad. Cameroonians in the diaspora, you guys are amazing people, and yet some people with some fake ideologies are trying to make you feel bad about yourself. There's not a single African that I know in the diaspora that has not helped someone back home from their family, that has not built a house back home for their family, that has not done amazing things for their family. Let me tell you something. Most of the people from Europe that left Europe and came to the West, most of the people that left Europe and came to America cut every ties with their parents and their families back in Europe. I just want to say, guys, I don't know if you guys are ready for this, but let me say it again. Most of the people from Europe that left Europe to America cut ties with their parents and their families in Europe so that they can build a new path here in America. But every African that I know of that traveled abroad makes money and tries to help the people back home. And all of you you've done that. You've done that in huge proportion. You've helped cousins. You've not only helped your immediate siblings, you've helped numerous people in your family. And yet they're trying to make you feel bad for not contributing enough. And I just want to let you know, you guys are amazing. You guys are powerful. You guys are smart. You have love for your nation, which is amazing. But this is the caveat. Are you ready for this? And I'll wrap up this message. Guys, the reason why the Americas or the Americans open their doors for us, Africa. Remember when you went for interview for your visa, one of the questions they asked you was, what will make you come back to your land? What will make you come back to your country? And you had to explain that you're going to study to acquire this knowledge so you can come back and teach your people. And that is why they said, good job, we'll give you this visa. Now they tell you that the white man is wicked. How can they want you to come into their land and learn from them and go back and help your people, and yet you think that they are wicked because of something that their great-great-grandparents did and not them? You come in, there is no way for you to learn, study, and acquire skills and talent that you can go back and help your people. Why? Because pressure from back home. They want you to start giving money immediately. Did you start sending money back home? Immediately you arrive the States. Immediately you arrive Europe. Immediately you arrive Asia. They want you to start sending money immediately back home. And because of that, you will cut off every opportunity that can help you gain this talent and the skills that can go back and just blow up an entire economy. But you will leave that for a menial job so you can make money and send back home. And guess what happens? Africa remains poor. Cameroon remains poor. Most of our people abroad are nurses. They don't know how to run hospitals, but they work in a hospital. And so with that, it limits their ability to be able to develop the skills in engineering and other industries that are transforming the global economy to come back home and bring about transformation. So what are you doing? You're eating your goose. When you pressure your relatives abroad that they are trying their best to make sure that they learn some skill, you pressure them, they leave that job, they leave that business, they leave that talent, and they go out there and try to get a menial job so that they can send money for you back home. So what are you doing? You're destroying your own self internally. this is the thing, guys. I've seen the Chinese people and I've seen African people coming into America. The first thing the Chinese man does when they come to America is go out there and look for a way to start a business. The first thing that an African does when they come into America is look for a job. And we wonder why our economies remain the same and our conditions remain the same. Just the tax on the money that we do at our jobs is almost half of the money that we make at that job. And we wonder why our economy is going down and why the people in the diaspora cannot help the people back home. This is the reality, guys. We have to be able to support our own economy and support our own people abroad. Because the fact that somebody from your family traveled abroad is a blessing. Support them. I just want to let you know, just the fact that they are in America, it should be a blessing for you and that family to let everybody know and praise them, help them, encourage them. Just let them know, brother, sister, the fact that you went to America is a blessing for our own family. Just the fact that I can think subconsciously that I have somebody in America is going to mean the world for me. Sister, keep going. We believe in you. We are praying for you. Sister, brother, we know that you're going to come back and do amazing things in this nation. That is enough to help them and keep them going so that they are not pressured to go get menial jobs because they say, oh, is that all you can give? Is that all the money that you can give? How many years you've been in America? What have you been able to do? And you throw all of these slangs to them. You don't know what they are doing with their lives. You don't know what they plan for their lives because it's the community over the individual. We don't prioritize the nation, it's the community. It is socialism, the even distribution of economic resources within a group. What a pathetic concept. What a pathetic ideology that cannot help us be able to grow. So the Asian comes in, they get a business. The African comes in, they get a job. I want to say money circulates within the Asian community about 31 times. About 31 days, that is a whole month, a dollar will circulate within the Asian community for 31 days before it goes out to the public. It will circulate in the Jewish community about 24 days before it goes out to the general public. But the money will circulate in the black community for 6 hours and is going back into the community. What does this mean? We don't prioritize money as a tool to create wealth. We prioritize money as something to pay bills or to save in the bank and build a good credit. By the time we start prioritizing money as an instrument, because the Asian community, the Jewish community, they see money as a tool to create wealth, to produce more money. We see money as a tool to get good credit, save in the bank, and buy stuff. Our perspective about money is different. And I think if Africans and black people prioritize these industries and look at what the world is doing and focus our energy and attention, and we are not pressured by family, relatives, and community, we will be able to have the right perspective about money. But how can I tell a brother to go learn engineering if he's receiving text messages and calls every day from back home? We need money. I want to remind us, before your brother or sister traveled abroad, you were living, you didn't die. We can still manage and see what they can come up with and do for the whole nation. And that will benefit you as well. I just thought I'd pour my heart out so you can understand how I feel for our people and the hope that I have for our people, so that we will have the right attitude and knowing that the white person is not our enemy, but they want to help you. They will teach you if you show up with an open heart and with a clear mind, free of judgment and the past, filled with slavery, slave trade, and this idea that the white man doesn't like you and hate you. If you can clear yourself from all of these memories and thoughts, you'll be able to integrate freely, look at people in the eyes and say, I want to do well for myself and my people, and they will show you the way, and you will go back and develop your own continent, and you guys will have a different kind of game to play as fellow countries. world forward. I hope this message was a blessing to you. I love you guys so much. And stay blessed. And I'll see you next time.